What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got a very interesting match for you guys to check out. This one is definitely going to feel a little retro. We have Infernoids facing off against pure artifacts. This isn't like the hand artifact trap trick build known as Hat. This is just a pure version of artifacts, and if you love a little bit of sadism, you're probably going to enjoy this duel as well, or if you just like seeing artifacts hit the board, because this guy is not just going to be summoning artifacts based off using like Artifact Sanctum or Call of the Haunted, how you're usually used to seeing them. He is going to nuke his back row over and over and over and over again. It's going to happen a lot, and I think he might actually get some help from the Infernoid player at the top. So this is going to be a little self-destructive, but it might work out in the end. Let's go ahead and roll this. I'm not sure who's up first. I believe artifacts are. So this is a typical opening for artifacts, just because you can kind of sneak your, you could sneak your monsters in your back row. So if your opponent figures out you're playing artifacts, the likelihood of them using something like Dp-Ygo or Twin Twister probably goes down significantly. He's going to put a bunch of cards in his back row turn one. I believe he's going to normal summon that Raiden. Looks like he got Dp-Ygo, but nothing else. He's going to go ahead and he's going to, I believe that he activated Ignition on Scythe, which extra deck's not going to be that big of a deal in this duel. He obviously doesn't run into Scythe, and this is pretty interesting. He uses Pot of Duality and sees Malevolent Catastrophe. This is what I was talking about when I was saying that this guy is going to constantly be trying to blow up his own back row. Now, the interesting thing about Malevolent Catastrophe is if it's a card that you show your opponent, usually they're not going to play into it, very much like Drowning Mirror Force, and let's see exactly how he's going to play around. Now, he is playing Infernoids because, or excuse me, that's a deck that's not really known for being able to play around that much, because I mean it does have some back row removal in the form of Dp-Ygo and obviously like Petrulia, but not that much. He goes for Onochu, which is Onoku's actually going to get hit with that Solemn Warning, and now he's going into Scythe mode beatdown, I guess you could say. He did set the Malevolent Catastrophe, and he has the artifact Vajra in his hand, which obviously can be another card that acts almost identical to Malevolent Catastrophe. Right now he's getting a beatdown going. He top decks Decatron, which is really good because that gets him Harmodique, and I thought that he would probably stop attacking at this point because he doesn't want to deal obviously with the Malevolent Catastrophe. And if you notice, he's pretty much not attacking. That's exactly what he did until he got the Petru, and then he's actually just gonna pop the Malevolent Catastrophe. Now at this point I was like, oh shit, well your game plan just went down the window. He ends up hitting a wolf off the Minerva. He's going to attack, but he gets pranked hard. He's going to end up running into that Vajra, and look how many artifacts are going to freaking hit the board, guys. In addition to that, he's actually going to get some draws off of this guy right here. I think he's going to draw like 3 cards or something. So you can see he had 1 card in his hand. He gets to set his artifact Scythe, and yeah, he gets 3 draws. Now, he is going to lose a couple of his artifacts in battle, and actually, no, he's going to lose everything. Oh, that was the fun part of the duel. He loses everything to Onoku. He activates Artifact Ignition, which is going to basically proc the Void Feast, which is going to be chained, and it's kind of crazy, right? Because the board looks almost identical to what it did a couple of turns ago. You saw that he summoned 5 artifacts, and then his board got clean wiped, but all the cards that he drew, he's basically in a position where he still has 6 cards on the board, which is, it's pretty damn incredible, right? You wouldn't expect somebody to lose their entire board and then still be back at it. He's going to go for Star Eater, and this time he's going to go for Malevolent Catastrophe. That's going to get negated. And check this card out. He uses Absorbing Jar to blow up his back row again, and he's going to summon more artifacts. So what, that is the 2nd time that he has blown up his entire back row. The 3rd time he has attempted it, and now Dp-Ygo is going to be summoned. And I mean, both players have very strong boards. He's going to go for Volcasaurus, and I believe that Dp-Ygo is going to say no to that, but he is pressing on, guys. The back row is real. 5 more back row, and he's going to attack Artifact Scythe with Antundel. He activates Countergate, which is a really weird card. I had to pause on that one. I was like, wait, what is this card? If your opponent declares an attack, you actually get to negate the attack, draw a card, then if it's a monster, immediately after that effect resolves, you get to normal summon that monster in attack position. Keep in mind that I believe that should be able to trigger cards like Artifact Morale Tax. So, and I think it can just trigger your artifacts as well. So if you draw an artifact monster, you can activate it. He's going to try and use Artifact Sync Sanctum. That's going to get negated, and at this point, wasn't really sure who was going to win. He keeps trying to go for Sanctums. They keep getting negated, but he is going to finally Solemn Strike. He's not going to actually kill Inoku because he has Void Seer, but he is able to blow up his back row again, and he gets a couple of monsters, not nearly as much as before. He is going to try and do a little bit of damage there, get the Artifact Scythe off the field, and he's going to go into Pallades, and he's finally going to be able to bounce that Inoku, but can't finish him off. I believe Inoku is going to get summoned back. No, it's not. Untundale is when he tries to activate the Constellar Pallades, Void Seer is basically chained to say, no, you will not be able to get my monster off the board, and now it's pretty much a desperate situation for the Artifact guy. He activates Pot of Duality, he gets an Artifact Sanctum, which was excellent. And if you guys have noticed now, look who only has 3 cards left in their deck, and you see the next card on top of his deck is Charged with Light Brigade, which he will not be able to resolve. So right now, the Artifact guy only has to stall, and he can technically win by deck out. As yeah, I believe that the Infernoids is just going to be dead drawing, but he summons a second Pallades, and that might actually be the game. He might not actually need the top deck, or he might not even need to go to the deck out situation. No, he ends up getting a copy of, what's it called? He gets a copy of Birdo from a different dimension. He goes for Devyati. He ends up banishing the Constellar Pallades, who tried to chain its effects. He top decks a Twin Twister, which is completely dead, and he gets Monster Gate. And yeah, I think this game is actually going to be won by deck out. So a very strange ending to this duel, as his last card is a Void Feast, which obviously he cannot resolve because he has no monsters left in his deck. And that's actually where the game ends. It was a super close duel, but gotta keep cards in your deck if you're going to win the duel, or at least you have to have some monster that you can summon. Kind of sucks that he ultimately has a wolf in his hand that he can't use, because had that been like a Raiden or something like that, he probably ends up getting the victory. But just a very interesting duel, and involving a little bit of sadism, a lot of blowing your own cards up to make yourself stronger, I guess. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, please let me know by leaving a nice comment or giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.